Here again. Going back to basics, part 2. Okay, as you see, I've laid the track and I'm well and truly gone ahead, way ahead. I've put the ballast down, weathered it. That's the way I wanted it. Mind you don't have to go to this extreme if you don't want to, but I did. So as you can see, I've already cleaned the surface of the rails, and she's ready to be hooked up underneath. But I'm just going to give you guys a quick tip with these Pico isolated switches. And there's just one little thing that needs to be done to them, especially with the big flanges, and I'm going to show you in a minute. So I'll just reposition the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'll reposition the camera. Now when you guys get the opportunity and your wife's busy or your girlfriend is busy, go and raid her makeup kit, nail polish kit, or next time you're going into the shop, go to the beauty department and get some of this nail polish. You're wondering, why am I going to use nail polish on the layout? Well, that's silver. I will get some. And I'll show you why I'm using nail polish on my turnouts, on my points. I'll just zoom into the frog. Okay, there's the frog there. Okay, as you see here, you got a bit of a plastic there where the track goes into. Got that little black piece there. Now what happens is you got the rail there, and with the wide wheel, especially on the old rolling stock, not so much on the new ones, the actual wheels itself, the surface of the wheel is really wide, and when the engines go and the carriage goes onto this point here on the frog, it shorts things out, particularly with particularly here with or when you've got DCC, you'll notice it and you can burn things out. Now, normally this wouldn't be a problem if I didn't put if you noticed, in part 1, I've actually put a bronze wire powering this track and this track, and that track and that track. So that's negative, that's positive. Generally what the Pico insulation points do, the turnouts do, when you flick them, it'll actually isolate the rail on one side, and whatever train is on there, whatever power's on it, it cuts the power to it. If I flick the switch in the other direction, it'll cut the power to this track. However, since it's live in that point, what I need to do is get the nail polish. You don't need much. You just need to put it on the tip here. Just so. And we're going to let that dry. And while the nail polish is drying, we'll go and do some basic wiring underneath the layout. Now, when you're cleaning the track, that nail polish there will last a while, particularly if you're using the which a lot of people are recommending not to use the abrasive ones. When you're using abrasive track rubbers, after a while you will need to go over with the nail polish. So now I'm going to go underneath. Oh, before we do go underneath, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so as this series that I've started, it's going back to basics using an NCE DCC system. So what I've done is I'm going to start off with the Power Cab, which is your Power Cab, which is your basic system, and I'll show you how to hook it up briefly. It's quite simple. I'm going to a bit of extreme. This is basically what you exclude the box. I've actually put the panel, which should usually be a fascia, I put it into a little box. So that's going to be your front. That's going to be our front, where we plug in the hand controllers. And this is the back. Now, that's your power feed for your track. That's your power feed for the main. And when you add on, say, your mini panels or other accessories of NCE, you actually plug it into here, and this is from where you can actually start the daisy chain. You do get other UTP plugs, and you can start off from plugging into here and going on. Now, I made this as a box to protect the components. You can get this at most electronic shops. I got this one from J-Car in Australia. Cut the holes in, and neat little tidy little box. Comes in handy, works out good. So for this demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of my jumper cables, alligator clips, and in the kit you get a power plug like this, and this goes to the track. Generally you'll hook your layout onto this. One side I'll keep as the positive. In this case it will be my orange wire, and my negative, which will be my yellow wire. So we'll turn around into the back here, and this little black plug goes only in one direction, and it goes inside like so. That's plugged in, and the power cord, which I'll put later, will go into here. I'll just go and get that plug. Just bear with me for a sec. Okay, I forgot to mention, I did do some prep work for my wiring. You don't have to go to this extreme, but because this is going to be an expandable section, I'm just preparing ahead and using this as an example. Now I've got one of these plugs, screw-in plugs, to put me terminal strips to do my wiring. So what I've done is, on the one side I've done black, which is my negative, and I jumped them all along. So I've actually got 1, 2, 3 spots to do my negative, and on my red I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spots there. And I'll show you why soon as we get underneath. But this is what I'm going to use, and it's a great idea because it allows you to expand and change or add components to the layout without messy desoldering or cutting wires and making a mess underneath. It makes it a little bit easier. So anyway, we're going to go under the layout now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay people, so here you go. You can see how I already got the power feeds down through the board and coming underneath. Now we're going to connect them all up using a simple process. You see these 2 wires here, they're my power feed for the switch. So there's going to be continuous power flowing into it. And when I'll pan across over to here, you'll see these two wires here, they're going in for the siding. This black one here is my main negative for my main line. I only need the 1 for the main. And I've got 1 power feed. If you remember, I've got that main split in 2, so that's for the first one. And this one here is a second feed. Now you guys will see I've actually got what seems to be plaster at the bottom of the wires. Now what I've done there is excuse me, what I've done there is I've actually sealed the holes up. So when I did the ballasting and the as we all know, the glue can be runny, I sealed it up so the water doesn't come through and the glue doesn't come through and fall on the carpet. Okay, and I've got carpet here, but I've got to look after the premises because it's rental. Okay, so with that connector that I had made up, I'm going to join the wires up. Now, normally if you're going to have a layout in the permanent position, you can shorten them up, the wires up. I made them a little bit longer because I don't know where it's going to go yet, but I'm still going to terminate them here in the middle. So before I forget, what I do need to do is label the wires. Okay, so how do I do that? What I do is I get some masking tape, pull it out a little bit, and what I try to do is I try to wrap it up a little bit at the end, like so. Yes, I know it's going to have a bit of a dogtail, but that doesn't matter. There's, I want to be able to read it. Now, use a simple method of labeling your wiring. Now, this is for my point switch, so this is again my power feed for my point switch. Oh, sorry, power switch for my point switch. So I'm going to put down here power, simple P, WR for power. I use PS for point switch. Now for me, this is going to be point switch 16. I'm trying to keep all my feeds, all my numbers in order. So I'm just going to quickly do these two, that one, and these other wires. And twist these two together as such. Like that. Give a bit of a pull. As you twist them, these, just twist and pull them. Gives you a nice, it'll give you a nice twist connection. We'll do the same for this other side. This one I'm going to twist it here. So get these two together onto here. Get the two and join them together. Now what I tend to do is, because I have got a reasonably big hole, to make sure it gets screwed down, what I do is I actually turn over the wire as such. No, I am not going to solder them at this stage, because I'm going to reuse this wire. I don't normally solder my wires. That's my preference. I still get a good connection. So now I'll get my terminal block. As you see, I've got the blacks. So I'm just going to put this in one of the holes here for the black wire. Fits in, push it in snugly. I'm going to screw them up like so. Okay, so that's the black wire in position for the track. So that's all my track wiring. So I've got terminal 3 there, another one there, and that's going to be for when I do the point switch, or the decoders for the point switch. I do actually need another spare one for the lighting. Now, that's going to be my power feed. Them two wires, these two wires here are going to be my power feed. Or I'll connect them to the main bus. So I'm going to use this as a separate district too if I wanted to, by just putting a little circuit breaker or fuse at the end. Alright, I'm just quickly going to tidy up this wiring. Using some cable ties. So as you see there, I'll put the connections in there. Tidied all the wiring up. I use the cable ties and bunch them all up and get them up out the way so it doesn't get caught. Now, for this demonstration purposes, this has been done for the basic power cab. So it's simple, just to plug these two wires, connect these two wires onto the back of the power cab. That little black box that I made up, that's got the power cab's control on it. But because this section here, because this section is going to be part of the layout, after demonstration, I will actually hook these two wires up onto my main bus, which is that way. I've still got to set that up. But yeah, those two wires will actually connect into my bus wire. So that's pretty much ready to go. The red wires are in place, so I can just unscrew it, screw the red wires, feed my BD20s in, and screw them back in the terminal, and that will work. I've got my spare slots in there for my turnout decoders and for my lights when they arrive. Okay, so now we're going to do a test run on the layout. So here we go. I've got the box all plugged in. It's plugged in the main, but as you see, there is it's got a little LED. It's power into it, but it's not working as yet until you plug in your power cab into it. So I'm just going to get the cord. Yeah. So I'm just going to get the power cab and I'll plug it in. So here I got the train into place. I've noticed that on that UTP panel for my power cab, the plug is worn out from use. Well, I'm just thinking I've actually had that unit for close to 18 years now. 17 years, so it's been a while, maybe 15 years. So yeah, she's done her time, but I've got it going. So I'll do a demonstration. Now, when the engine leaves the switch and goes over to where the railroad crossing is, because this track here is hooked up to the far side, the train will actually stop because there's no power feed coming off the power cab, because we haven't joined that wire up, but it will work in the siding here. So let me show you. As you can see, it'll go past the switch. It's gone through the switch and it stops. The reason why it stopped is because there's no power there. Okay, now I'll place the engine in the siding and you'll see it will do exactly the same thing again. Okay, so place the engine there, and let me show you how it runs again. Once it leaves that switch and goes on that straight, it will stop. So there you have it. Okay. So now what I'll do is, the engine's sitting on the switch. Yes, the train did derail on the turnout before turn because the switch is floating, so it's not being held. It's not getting pushed to one side. It's not a big drama, but that will be fixed once I put and install the switch motor underneath the layout, which will come in one of the next parts. So okay, so now I'm going to have this train come all the way back on the main into the two split sections, so you'll see that it'll all go through. So it's past the section. Because the track is actually split here. So it's only on one side of the track that's split. So as you see, it's all working. So I'm going to finish. I'll just unplug this for now. So for this part, I'm going to leave it from here. I will hook up the wires up underneath onto the main bus, which will allow the train to run straight through into the other side. Now that is actually done with Power Pro, which is the biggest system, which you can upgrade to. And it's as simple as using those two wires that we used in the Power Cab. Those two same wires go into the Power Pro, so you don't have to modify nothing on the actual Power Pro to have it running. It's simple changeover. So this is the end of part 2 for the basics, back to basics with wiring. And stay tuned for part 3. See you all soon. Take care.